Welcome back to GMP Scenario, presented by PharmaContentLabs.com.
All right, let's talk about one of the most common and honestly one of the most critical failures in any quality assurance system, the compliance trap. It's all about proving a corrective action actually did its job. And believe me, it's where a lot of systems just completely fall flat. And really, it all boils down to this simple question. When you see a checkbox that's been ticked, is that real hard proof? Or is it just kind of a promise, a hope that the problem is gone for good? The difference, as you'll see, is absolutely everything. So picture this. It's a scene we've all been in, right? You're on the quality assurance team, a closed CAPA record lands on your desk, and you're just doing a routine review. And at first, hey, everything looks pretty good. The effectiveness check section is all filled out, and you see that beautiful word stamped right on it. Effective. Problem solved, case closed. Or is it? Well, this is where the alarm bells start to go off. You start digging just a little bit deeper, and you realize there's nothing there. There's no data, no reports, no objective evidence to back up that big, bold claim. All you find is that one single checkmark. A simple tick in a box doing the job that a whole file of proof should be doing. And folks, that right there, that is the heart of the compliance trap. You know, this actually has a formal name, a CAPA effectiveness failure. It's what happens when you close out a corrective action based on an assumption, not on real proof. And make no mistake, this isn't just a simple documentation slip-up. It's a major systemic failure. So, why is this such a big deal? I mean, it might seem like a small thing, right? But the consequences of that one lonely checkbox can create ripples, big ones, throughout your entire quality system. This is the golden rule. It's the fundamental principle that every single quality professional and, more importantly, every inspector lives by. You just can't say something worked. You have to prove it with cold, hard data. And this comparison just lays it out perfectly. When you just declare something is effective, you're working on an assumption. You're basically hiding the risk that the problem is going to come back. But when you prove it, you're using objective evidence that actually reduces the risk and, this is key, it strengthens the credibility of your entire system. So the bottom line is this. Relying on that checkbox isn't just a documentation gap. You are actively hiding risk, you're damaging your own credibility, and you are essentially putting up a giant sign that says, "Challenge me," for any inspector who walks in the door. And I'm not kidding. This is the number one thing inspectors look for. They will go straight to your closed CAPAs, and they will hunt for that effective label that isn't backed up by a solid wall of evidence. It is the absolute lowest hanging fruit for an audit finding. Okay, so we've spent enough time on the problem. Let's build the solution. How do we create a process that's totally bulletproof? How do we move from just declaring an action is effective to actually proving it? Well, it's actually a pretty straightforward three-step process. First, before you do anything else, you define what success even looks like. Second, you go out and collect the data to measure against that definition. And third, you document everything clearly. That's it. So what does defining success actually look like in the real world? It means setting really clear, measurable targets. Are you going to get the reoccurrence rate down to 0 for, say, 90 days? Is the goal to increase the right first-time metric by 15%? Or maybe success is a follow-up audit that shows full compliance. You've got to be specific. And this is a great question, one that comes up constantly. What if you do the check and the data shows the fix didn't work? Is the whole CAPA a failure now? No, not at all. In fact, this is a sign that your process is working the way it's supposed to. If the check fails, it just means you either need more time to monitor the situation or you need to go back to the drawing board and design a better corrective action. It's a data point. It's not a dead end. Okay, now let's get into the nitty-gritty. Let's talk about that final package. What does the documented proof, that actual evidence file that an inspector is going to want to see, what does it need to have in it? Your evidence file really means 5 key things. First, the plan, how you're going to prove it. Next, the data itself, the raw metrics you collected. Then the results. That's your analysis of the data. That's followed by a really clear conclusion saying yes or no, effectiveness was proven. And finally, you have the formal QA sign-off that closes the whole loop.
Before we wrap this up, I want to call out the single most common mistake people make. This is the final trap that leads you right back to that lonely little checkbox.
This is it. This is the big one. The team finishes all their tasks, right? The training's done, the SOP's updated, so they check the box and mark the CAPA as effective. This is, without a doubt, a guaranteed way to get a finding from an inspector. You have to remember, implementation and effectiveness are two totally different things. Implementation is just proof that you did the actions. Effectiveness is proof that the actions you did actually worked to solve the problem. It's the difference between the how and the what. And that's really what it all comes down to. From now on, the word effective on a CAPA record has to be completely synonymous with objective evidence exists. If you don't have the evidence, you simply can't make the claim, period. So I'll leave you with this question to take back to your own teams. Take a hard look at your quality system and ask yourselves, is it built on real, solid proof? Or is it built on the promise of a simple check?
Thank you for watching. If this helped, like and subscribe. More GMP scenarios coming.